Imagine being in a situation where you're faced with a difficult decision, and your emotions are clouding your judgment. You're anxious, stressed, and unsure of what to do. This is a common experience for many of us, and it's exactly what Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught us to avoid. Epictetus, a former slave who became a prominent philosopher, was heavily influenced by the Stoic school of thought. He believed that individuals should focus on things within their control and accept things outside of their control with equanimity. In this video, Epictetus will share his insights on how to control our emotions, just like Marcus Aurelius taught us. Epictetus will guide us through the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the Roman Empire with wisdom and justice. Despite being a powerful leader, Marcus Aurelius was known for his humility and compassion. He wrote Meditations, a book that contains his personal reflections on how to live a good life. Epictetus will help us understand how to apply these teachings in our daily lives, so we can cultivate inner peace, wisdom, and emotional control. So, let's begin our journey into the world of Stoic wisdom, and discover how we can control our emotions, just like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught us. One of the most important lessons from Epictetus is that we should focus on things within our control. He says, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful lesson that can help us manage our emotions. When we're faced with a difficult situation, we often react impulsively, without thinking about the consequences. However, if we take a step back and reflect on the situation, we can respond more thoughtfully. Epictetus teaches us that we should focus on our thoughts, feelings, and actions, as these are the things within our control. By doing so, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and wisdom. For example, imagine you're driving to work, and someone cuts you off. Your initial reaction might be to get angry and honk your horn. However, if you take a deep breath and reflect on the situation, you might realize that getting angry won't solve the problem. Instead, you can choose to let go of your anger and focus on driving safely. This is a simple example, but it illustrates the power of focusing on things within our control. By doing so, we can manage our emotions and respond to situations more thoughtfully. Another deep insight from Epictetus is that our emotions are often based on our perceptions. He says, people are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This means that our emotions are not necessarily based on reality, but on our interpretation of reality. For example, imagine you're walking in the park, and you see a stranger looking at you. Your initial reaction might be to feel anxious or uncomfortable. However, if you take a step back and reflect on the situation, you might realize that the stranger is just looking at you out of curiosity. They might not have any intention of harming you. By changing our perception of the situation, we can change our emotional response. This is a powerful lesson that can help us manage our emotions and cultivate inner peace. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with information that can trigger our emotions. We see news headlines that make us anxious, social media posts that make us feel inadequate, and advertisements that make us feel like we need to buy something. However, if we take a step back and reflect on these things, we can realize that they're just perceptions. We can choose to focus on the things that truly matter, and let go of the things that don't. So, how can we apply these lessons in our daily lives? The first step is to become more aware of our thoughts and emotions. We can do this by practicing mindfulness and meditation. By taking a few minutes each day to reflect on our thoughts and emotions, we can become more aware of our inner state. The second step is to focus on things within our control. We can do this by setting clear boundaries and prioritizing our goals. By focusing on what we can control, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and wisdom. The third step is to challenge our perceptions. We can do this by asking ourselves questions like, is this thought really true, or is this emotion based on reality? By challenging our perceptions, we can change our emotional response and cultivate a more positive outlook. By applying these lessons, we can transform our lives and cultivate inner peace, wisdom, and emotional control. We can become more resilient, more compassionate, and more wise. We can live a life that is true to who we are, and make a positive impact on the world around us. In conclusion, the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus offer us a powerful guide for controlling our emotions and cultivating inner peace. By focusing on things within our control, challenging our perceptions, and becoming more aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can transform our lives. We can become more resilient, more compassionate, and more wise. If you want to learn more about Stoic wisdom and how to apply it in your daily life, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every day, exploring the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and other Stoic philosophers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.